Hello, my name is Stephen Claremont. I'm in my last year at Lesley University getting my degree in Creative Arts and Education with licensure. During this last year, I get to spend my time in a 5th grade classroom at a school in Cambridge, actually splitting my time between two cohorts, two groups of classes that rotate, and I get to spend time in both math and writing and all the subject areas that they get to see, so I get a lot of different experiences. I'm not traditionally a math person, but there's elements of math in a lot of things that I'm super passionate about, and I wanted to do this project on a bit of math instruction because an opportunity arose to incorporate gaming into our classroom at a higher level, and I really wanted to pursue that. In our math classroom, which I co-run with a former Lesley colleague of mine, Chelsea Ruscio, who's really awesome, and she helped me design this program. Props to her. We, once per week, run a math stations class. The stations are where they break up into groups, about 4 or 5 students each, and the groups are at different stations around the room doing different activities. Usually the first one is an activity just where they can all play on the floor, something that's games-oriented, that's either puzzles or they're using dice to solve problems together, play games, things like that. The next station is usually a project of some kind where they're going to produce either an artistic depiction of a math problem they designed themselves, or they're going to try to identify problems they're struggling with and solve those creatively, things like that. After that, they're on to a workbook station where they can work privately at their desks, solving problems that are connected to the lessons of the week and aligned with the unit. And the last station is technology-oriented. Here they usually grab a Chromebook and, again, sit at their desks and work on Symphony Math, which is a program that our school really supports. Symphony is great in that it gives you a lot of different assessment points and depicts the units in a very visual way, using a lot of different access points, a lot of different modalities. This setup works really well for a certain set of students, actually probably most of the students. However, recently we've been noticing about 5 or 6 students have really hesitated when it comes to switching stations. We're finding those students are either just not engaged with math at all, not excited by it, or they're really anxious about doing something new. They'll try to stick to the station they're most comfortable with, and really don't want to try something that could be a little bit hard. So what we wanted to do is bring in something that was going to be both exciting and fun, and increase the engagement level while also helping them kind of work on those resiliency issues. So what we talked about, my supervising practitioner and I, is incorporating an aspect of gaming that we're both really fond of, role-playing. We both come from role-play and theater backgrounds and really love the power to teach multiple different subjects that comes out of trying on new identities and playing games that have a lot of really in-depth context and story and narrative to them. So what we decided to do was to add math Dungeons and Dragons into our stations. So for those unfamiliar with Dungeons and Dragons, it's your basic fantasy role-playing game. Players get together and they create a narrative together through characters that they develop themselves. Every player plays a character. Each character has statistical traits, and those traits determine how successful or not successful they are in battling monsters, having adventures, solving puzzles, and things like that. It's a really collaborative environment for a lot of different players, and the objectives can range from things as simple as just having a good time with your friends to becoming the most powerful hero in the group. So in mathdnd, we really wanted to simplify it as much as possible, so I created a character sheet and character creation rules that I've included in my paper. Those take the basic ideas of Dungeons and Dragons and streamline them as much as possible for all players. The objective of our games is going to be basically the same as in Dungeons and Dragons, but the challenges within them, and that's where we really get to add in the curriculum that we're working on with these students. And the idea is that one of us would run the station as the storyteller or the dungeon master, for those of you who play D&D. We really hope to see this increase in engagement through the students as they play this game. There's a lot of research that really supports adding context to students learning of mathematics. It fleshes out the applicability of their skills and gives them a reason to strive to succeed in trying on new things in the math world. There's a lot of research that supports this. From that role, we as teachers can simultaneously deliver the material and also provide, it gives us a chance to do assessment in the moment, to interact with them in real time and see how they're going about new challenges, what skills they're applying, what techniques they're using. We can even try to put characters in the game that can give them the assistance they may need to solve a problem using the correct tools. We can scaffold within the story. The narrative really gives us a lot of powerful tools to teach while assessing. And we look forward to see what all these awesome kids come up with during these games. Thank you very much.